Hi, welcome to So Good the Podcast. I'm Katie. Let's get the show started. Before I get the show started, every minute, every hour, every second, every day, it's a tragedy happening in the world today. We gotta take care of one another. It's a lot on my radar. I'm gonna get right into what's going on. Have you heard about what has happened in Manheim Township, Pennsylvania? It was a plane that crashed in a residential neighborhood. We talked about several episodes ago, a long time ago, about these planes and things is happening, it's changing, and these planes and accidents that's taking place in the world today is very unfortunate. And also, they said that it was a massive wildfire as well had broke out in Long Island, New York. That was just several days ago. There's a lot that's going on in the world, from planes, from fires, from West Coast, East Coast, it doesn't matter. It's things that's taking place. And like I said, we have family all over. We all have family all over. And the fact that, it might not have knocked at your door or been at your doorstep quite yet, it's very unfortunate because there's a lot that's happening in the world in rapid time. People just be mindful that time to get prepared. Now, there's some people out here that's been prepared for moments like this, tragedies that's taking place like this, and it's like every week, every show, it's always something else. It's another thing after another, and we gotta look out for one another. Not to live in fear, but at the same time, just be more so alert about what is actually happened. I call it old stream media. Old media talks about what they rather talk about, but things like this it's kind of alarming, because it doesn't matter where you are. It's just happening, and at the end of the day, we gotta look out for one another. That's where we are. And outside of that, also you have container ship hits tanker carrying U.S. military jet fuel in North. It's just so much. I'm just gonna play the videos, let you all make that decision, go from there and listen to this.
Jet fuel is pouring into the sea of northeast England after a tanker carrying fuel for the U.S. military was struck by a container ship Monday. Two maritime security sources said so far there was no sign of malicious activity. Ships with firefighting capabilities, lifeboats, and a helicopter arrived at the scene Monday morning. Britain's Coast Guard said 36 people were rescued, but one person remained missing. The crash happened off the port city of Hull at 10 a.m. Shipping industry sources say the waterway was busy with traffic running from the ports along Britain's northeast coast to the Netherlands and Germany. The tanker, called the Stena Immaculate, is operated by U.S. logistics group Crowley. They said the vessel was anchored when it was struck by the Portuguese-flagged cargo ship Solong. The crash happened in daylight conditions. Speaking to Reuters, oceanographer Dr. Simon Boxall said it seemed avoidable.
Now, there were reports of fog earlier, but modern ships have anti-collision systems, they have radar and so on. The Stena ship could have done very little about it. It couldn't have moved away because it was at anchor. It wouldn't have had time to respond by the time it got its engines warmed up and everything else. But the Solong should have avoided it, and it would be down to incompetence on behalf of Solong. There is no reason why, in the 21st century, two ships should collide.
The Solong's Hamburg-based owner, Ernst Russ, said both vessels sustained significant damage from the crash and the subsequent fire. A maritime data provider's report said the Solong was carrying containers of alcohol and sodium cyanide, a toxic chemical used mainly in gold mining. A U.S. military spokesperson told Reuters on Monday the tanker Stena Immaculate had been on a short-term charter to the U.S. Navy's Military Sealift Command. It was part of a U.S. government program designed to supply the armed forces with fuel when required. An insurance specialist said the pollution risk was lower than if the tanker had been carrying crude oil, but that would depend on the number of tanks breached and the severity of the fire. A spokesperson for the activist network Greenpeace said any environmental impact would depend on factors, including the amount and type of oil carried by the tanker, the fuel carried by both ships, and how much of that, if any, had entered the water.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter, bridges getting collapsed by these container ships and like I said, planes. It's like just a lot that's just happening, in real time. And a lot of people are just going about the day like it's normal. This is not normal. This is the new norm now, but it's not really normal, if you ask me. At the end of the day, what's next? What's next? What needs to happen? What's going to happen next? Just take this time to, understand thyself and your loved ones and the friends and family. Just enjoy the time every day. But, still be, do what you do today affects your future for the next day and so on and so on. And at the end of the day, we just enjoy each other time and company and respect each other perspective and beliefs and know-how. We'll be all right. But shout out to everyone that's actually still, with everything that's taking place, still gets up every day to serve the people, provide a service and a product to all the entrepreneurs. It's very tough to be an entrepreneur, one, two, but it's a lovely life to manifest, for lack of term. So those who are continuously to get up and do what they sought out to do in their vision, keep going. I salute you. Next on my radar, there's a lot of stuff going on with patients and doctors, a lot of fraud scheme and a lot of things that's taking place. They're saying it's concerned after the federal judge blocks a compound pharmacy production. I'm just going to let it play by Fox 8. There's a lot going on.
It'd be harder for patients to get a wildly popular weight loss drug. A federal judge's recent decision restricts the production of less costly versions of Zepbound.
Ton Trong joins us with what that could mean for people who rely on those medicines.
Following that judge's decision last week, so-called compounding pharmacies are no longer allowed to produce tirzepatide, the generic version of Eli Lilly's weight loss and diabetes medicine, Zepbound. One patient says taking that option off the table is unfair and also costly for people.
It's changing lives. It changed my life. I can't even begin to describe how different my life is now because of this medication.
Before and after pictures are perhaps the best way to describe the physical changes Ashley Rodrigue has experienced since 2022. The Louisiana native says that year she started using the generic version of Eli Lilly's Zepbound, a diabetes and weight loss drug which has been in such high demand it was placed on a national shortage list. To meet that soaring demand, the FDA allowed certain pharmacies, called compounding pharmacies, to produce generic and more affordable forms of Zepbound and Wegovy, which is manufactured by Novo Nordisk.
Those would be $1,000 to $2,000 a month, whereas ours are probably $200 to $400 a month.
Last fall, we visited Galleria Pharmacy in Metairie. It's one of just a handful of pharmacies in Louisiana approved to make compounded variations of the weight loss meds. As their supplies normalized, the FDA took them off the shortage list, and a federal judge last week refused to allow such pharmacies to keep that production going. Dr. May Scott says that decision helps the bottom line for drug makers, but not for patients. He says these drugs are expensive and often not covered by health insurance.
The price point is really out of reach of most middle-class patients and then, of course, lower middle class, and it's not fair.
Dr. Scott says 70% of the weight loss clients at his clinic are using compounded semaglutide and tirzepatide. Scott is concerned those more affordable options may go away, but for now, he says they're still available.
As I understand it now, as long as the compounding pharmacies can produce the medication, I can still get it to patients. And the majority of compounding pharmacies I've talked to said they legally can continue to make the medicine.
So many people are freaking out right now and discouraged, rightfully so.
Ashley Rodriguez says she's lucky her health insurance now covers her weight loss medication, but other patients are not so fortunate.
It's hard to watch when I know how life-changing it can be for so many people.
And during the legal battles between drug makers and compounding pharmacies, the FDA set deadlines for those pharmacies to stop producing Zepbound. But the FDA also said it'll use discretion on enforcing those deadlines until lawsuits are settled. Novo Nordisk, the maker of Wegovy and Ozempic, is now trying to stop compounding pharmacies from making generic forms of those medications.
To each his own. There's nothing wrong with whatever decision you make. Whatever is best for you, that you feel as though is life-changing, that can adjust your daily habits or life, do what's best for you. But what happened to the natural workout routine, it's like more so like a shortcut, nothing wrong if you decide to do it. Like I said, it's up to you. There's a lot of side effects, right? But we'll see what happens with that. I would like to bring that to y'all's attention. I've seen a lot of supplements and pharmaceutical compound medicine. That's the stuff that's taking place. It's in the light. A lot of those was in the dark. That was mostly good for people. It was not good for people. But we'll see how the balance shape out in the very near future. See, what will happen next. Next on my radar, I talked about the measles the other day, but it seems like it's pretty much spreading a little fast as of late. They're saying something's going on at Dallas Airport.
Returning back home, the state now worried that resident spread the measles to others at Dulles Airport in Virginia and at Johns Hopkins Pediatric Emergency Department. This all comes as infections nationwide continue to soar, with more than a dozen states reporting cases just in the last few weeks. News Nation's Xavier Walden has more for us this morning. Xavier, how worried are officials that this outbreak could get even worse than it is right now?
Hey, Marky, good Monday morning to you. Well, there's certainly a heightened level of concern, and health officials are still looking for anyone that came in contact with that person at the Dulles Airport. However, officials do say that person, this is not connected to that Texas and New Mexico outbreak. Still, you got to think measles, one of the most contagious viruses in the world, and still continues to spread nationwide. As we look at this map, big picture, you got to factor in spring break too, travel season. Concern levels multiplied even more. So far, there have been more than 220 cases of measles confirmed in more than a dozen states. Most recently, on top of Maryland, Florida health officials said a high school student tested positive for the virus. However, a majority of the cases involved children who didn't receive that MMR vaccine. Of all of the states, though, Texas and New Mexico still reported the most cases, by far nearly 200 with the Lone Star State. There, at least 2 deaths being reported too. That's according to the CDC. An unvaccinated school-aged child in Texas and an unvaccinated adult in New Mexico marked the first measles deaths in the U.S. since 2015. And to make matters even worse, doctors say, yeah, you mentioned this at the top, more cases expected as this outbreak continues. It's gotten to the point where some states, are sending out measles alerts. Federal disease detectives from the CDC have been deployed to hard-hit areas in West Texas where the bulk of the cases are being reported. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., weighing in on the measles outbreak, calling the vaccine a good one, but that the decision to get it is a personal choice. And then there was a recent op-ed. RFK Jr. also said good nutrition and vitamin-rich foods are a best defense against chronic and infectious disease. And he noted vitamin A can be used to treat measles. However, health officials are worried about the federal government's messaging when it comes to vitamin A. And too much vitamin A, it can actually be toxic. They say it cannot actually prevent the measles. It can help reduce symptoms. It needs to be given only under a doctor's supervision. Their message, here it is.
The CDC and from the World Health Organization is hospitals administering a high dose of vitamin A. With this recommendation, I don't want to see people running out to the drugstore and getting extra doses of vitamin A to be given. It's not a preventative treatment.
So in moderation, obviously, Markey, as far as how long the outbreak could last, some health officials are saying another couple of months, but it's really a wait and see, and then you got to heighten your level of security. Keep in mind, I was talking about spring break travel. We're also going to get into summer travel eventually, too, Markey.
Yeah, and these unknowns are scary for a lot of people, a lot of families across the country. Xavier, thank you. George, Maryland traveler has health officials scrambling right now.
Immune system. That's what we are. That's what we need to focus on. Unfortunate, what they said, that those couple people that they say allegedly lost their life, my thoughts, prayers goes out to them and their loved ones. We got to take care of one another. Like I said, just immune system. People going to school, kids going to school. They say it's kids and adults. So at the end of the day, just got to make sure that be mindful of thinking about ourselves before we go out there, before we affect other people when it comes to health. But you gotta health as wealth is on this platform. We gotta do the best thing that we gotta do to protect one another, and it starts with yourself first, with your health, and everything else will follow suit. At the end of the day, it's not nowhere near summer. It's not even getting to that point. Like I said, people getting on these break schools, about to be on break. Most places. I'm not sure how much traveling will be taking place. People still going to travel. Some people are not fearful of what's going on with these planes and stuff like that. So a lot more people will probably travel, via, traveling on the road. So at the end of the day, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to bring to your all's attention. Like I said, on this platform, we tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And it's a lot that's going on. And like I said, I talked about in the last episode or two about the measles, and pretty much everything I bring to y'all's attention, it's just confirming exactly what's going on. So I surely appreciate everyone continuing to support this platform, because it's a lot. It's a lot to bring you all these type of things, to your attention. And like I said, it's not for a fear tactic at all. It's more so just about, being alarmed and being alert of what's happening in the world. It's been talked about going around, continue to shut down with the government. So loud that I'm going to play this video. It's a lot. They're saying it's a countdown that possibly they can actually shut down.
1 week to come to an agreement on government funding, but are both sides of the aisle close to making that agreement happen? The March 14th deadline comes as Congress is caught up in debating President Donald Trump's budget priorities. For now, a continuing resolution would keep top-line spending at their current levels, which in effect is a cut due to increased costs and changing needs. Republicans say now is not the time for a fiscal fight.
Don't stop a momentum that is so great right now with what Doge is doing, what he's uncovering. Don't stop it now. He doesn't want to have to deal with a shutdown and who's to blame. He wants to move forward with his programs, move forward with his agenda.
But Democrats say that the president's ability to control funding and use it as political leverage is a poison pill for them.
A year-long continuing resolution is inconsistent with the Bipartisan Fiscal Responsibility Act. And so if Republicans decide to take this approach, as Speaker Johnson indicated, it's his expectation that Republicans are going it alone.
Republicans control 53 seats in the Senate, but 60 votes are required to move funding measures forward. The House is expected to take its first floor vote Tuesday. Republicans hold a razor-thin majority in that chamber. Both chambers have that March 14th deadline. Speakers have just 1 week to come to.
It's affecting the people. those who are in business. A lot going on with the school districts and politics, and politicians and things that's just happening. It's just affecting the people. It's a lot that's happening right now. People that's in corporate America and all the industries that they may partake in. People go to school, universities. They're talking about getting rid of funding in this industry. Food for the kids. Student loan. It's a lot that's going on right now. So people are alarmed. Really are. Even when you go into some stores, some of the shelves are kind of not as stocked as it once was. Outside of on this platform where we talked about that these some products are being replaced because it's not healthy for you. But at the end of the day, outside of that, those products that's not on my radar yet are not stocked. To the max. And it's a lot of things that's happening, and people are getting prepared. Some people, and every day, every hour, every minute, every second, more people are getting prepared to stock up on goods and things like that for themselves and their loved ones. Would like for that to continue, because what's ahead? Something's ahead, and at the end of the day, those who are continuing on the schedule, just be mindful of, the things that's going on around you. What's next on my radar? Got a couple more until I we'll pick which one I want to discuss. Appreciate everyone continuing to support this platform. Hit the link in the bio for supporting this platform as far as merch and things of that nature. You can get pretty much what's listed up there. If you have any suggestions that you would like to see, you can reach out to this platform, or you can reach out to So Good to KD. Should be contact information there, and someone will respond to your request. They saying something about let me see. They say they saying Americans can to get one-off payment from the $4.5 million unfair overdraft settlement. Check if your bank is paying out. Eligible Americans can have the chance to receive a free cash reward due to unfair overdraft settlement, with the bank agreeing to pay out $4.5 million to customers across several states. What is it, Cadence Bank has agreed to pay the sum after claims that an alleged charge unfair overdraft fees on debit card transactions between January 11, 2019 and November 15th of 2023. These are extra charges, what known as ASPN fees, according to the class action lawsuit. Despite these fees being added, even with payments were initiated with a positive account balance. Cadence Bank has over 400 locations in multiple states, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, as well as in the Midwest. The bank has not admitted any wrongdoing, but rather settled with the class action lawsuit brought against them in order to resolve the allegations. Under the term of the settlement, eligible class member can receive a proportional share of the total the $4.5 million based on the amount they paid in ASPN fees during the time frame. If you, for example, paid $1,000 in fees, you will receive twice as much as a class member who was charged $500 in fees. Additionally, the bank agreed to forgive up to $682,000 unpaid ASPN fees, therefore making the total value of the settlement $5,182,000 And in a separate class action case, Cadence Bank has been accused by claimants of overcharging customers' ATM withdrawal fees. But for the original lawsuit, customers who have received a notification via email or postcard are by default a class member. Check all your recent posts to find out whether or not you have received a letter or are one of the class members involved. If you are one of these people, then you will automatically receive the settlement payment you are entitled to unless you exclude yourself. The deadline to exclude yourself and opt out from the payment is March 17, 2025. A lot of things has been done in the dark. It's coming to the light. Whatever abbreviations or name they want to call it for overcharging, these extra fees, even though people was they said a positive account. Their account was positive and they still doing it. So it's a lot that's going on in the world, man. And if you are aware, or if you are aware of what this bank or even bank with this particular institution, I will surely put the name in the description so you can look this up. But people gotta be mindful of what's going on right in front of you. It's a lot that's happening. Like I said, in the dark. When it was done in the dark, it's coming to the light. No matter the genre or institution in corporate America that's taking place, things is happening. If you're not doing right by the people, it's just happening. And they say they didn't see any wrongdoing, so they just going to just settle. I bet, right? I might have a couple more for you all that I would like to bring to you all's attention. I'm gonna try this one for you all. They are talking about they say Missouri wins $24 billion judgment against China for unleashing the COVID-19 on the world. Yeah, I'm going to read briefly about what's going on with this, but it's a very touchy subject. A lot of people have been lost by what has happened. What was that, 2020? Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey won a $24 billion judgment against China for the country's part in exacerbating the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a landmark statement victory for Missouri and the United States in the fight to hold China accountable for unleashing COVID-19 on the world. Bailey said in a statement, China refused to show up to court, but that doesn't mean that they get away with causing untold suffering and economic devastation. We intend to collect every penny by seizing China's own assets, including Missouri farmland. The lawsuit named the People's Republic of China, the Wuhan Institution of Virology, the Chinese Academy of Science, and the National Health Commission of the People's Republic of China defendants. The summary judgment from Judge Stephanie Limbaugh of the U.S. District Court from the Eastern District of Missouri found that China intentionally engaged in a campaign to suppress information about the existence, scope, and the human-to-human of the COVID-19. We call it transmissibility. It revealed that China was made aware of the human-to-human transmission of the virus as early as September 2019. The Chinese Communist Party publicly denied the existence of the COVID-19 virus until December 31st of 2019 and denied its ability to transmit between humans until January of 2020. Evidence submitted by Missouri, however, demonstrates Missouri claims that China repeatedly and knowingly misrepresented the existence and human-to-human transmission of the virus. For months prior to these admissions, the summary judgment read, China also guilty of ordering personnel protection equipment. One of the key statements was the defendant ordered PPE early in the COVID-19 pandemic was by taking monopolistic steps to both nationalize U.S. factories producing PPE in China and prohibited the export of PPE from the U.S. factories in China to the United States. The summary judgment read. They said since the beginning of the pandemic, Chinese and American officials have disputed the notions that the COVID-19 originated in the lab, but in January, the CIA switched its views and concluded that the COVID-19 most likely originated from the lab. A spokesman from the Chinese embassy told the New York Times the lawsuit has no basis in fact. Whoever, whatever, and why this has taken place, like I said, it's affected, the world, shut the world down, affected the people. People was fearful of their lives, didn't know what to do, so they made decisions. Some made decisions on the go. Some made decisions based off of the research that they say that they have done before they did, and they felt comfortable to continue to go along with that. Some people didn't pay any of that attention as far as what was being said or what was being done from this virus is being transmitted from human to human. They didn't do anything, they just waited out. So everyone has their own decisions to make about what's best for them and their loved ones. Like I said, I just hope that you make the right decision for yourself and your loved ones. That's what it's about. And those who are prideful and think that they know what they need to know, we all say we know what we know and what's best for us and what we believe. Excuse me. Then you have some people that loves the truth, that like to get to the bottom of whatever the subject matter or format that we conversing about, and have evidence, concrete evidence about what's being said. Thinking and believing is not knowing, But to each his own. At the end of the day, we got to take care of one another. And I promise you everything will be okay. Like I said in the past, I used to say, things get, worse before they get better. It's not that no more. It's everything is falling into place. So I surely appreciate everyone continues to tap in on this platform. If you're a gamer, you can reach out to So Get the KDs. The handle should be in the description at the bottom of this episode. Reach out to that page or platform. Sure to get back to you if you were a gamer and looking to showcase your talent, not only where you're from, but around the world. And we'll go from there. From Madden, NBA 2K, boxing. People still play Fortnite. Obviously Call of Duty. Call of Duty is still out there. People are still playing. A lot of people dislike the game because the talent is getting better. As people are getting much better at what they do. So a lot of people are changing courses for playing Call of Duty. But for those who continue to get better and love the gameplay, reach out. We're sure they can help you. We got some content out there already on So Get the KD platform. You can surely check it out. It's pretty dope. Artists and the musicians need new music being placed in front of an audience. You need more awareness. We can surely help you with that. Reach out to So Get the Media. Definitely can help you with that as well. If you need models, if you are a talent or someone that was looking to get into the industry, we can surely help you with that as well. You can reach out to So Get Them Out at agency. They can surely help you with that. What else? Marketing, advertisement, promotion. So Get the Promotion. Surely can help you with that as far as your videos. And like I said, if you want to put things in front of more audience, give you a better opportunity and a chance to interact with your fans and more connection and more placement as well, So Surely appreciate it, everyone, for tapping in. If you need any other service, just reach out. Surely can help you. Some entrepreneurs out here that continues to help in their communities, for their family, loved ones, and tribe. Surely reach out. It's not a problem, whatever it may be that you may need, and or trying to do something new. Surely can help you on this platform. If you're looking to be interviewed, or you have a product and a service that need advertisement, I want to place on the show, definitely can help you with that. So I surely appreciate you for everyone for continuing to tap in. So get the podcast. I'm KD. Have a good one.